Good afternoon. Thank us. We are joined here today, women's head basketball coach at Palo Verde College, Dylan Longley. Coach Longley, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Bo.
Product of Stillwater, Minnesota, right, Coach?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And a product of Wisconsin River Falls, I believe.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, Coach, let's get started right away. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your experience. Tell us about your, I guess, kind of sense, your philosophy, and some of the things that you're going to be bringing to a brand new era of Palo Verde basketball.
Yeah. So I'm originally from Stillwater, Minnesota, as you said.
Huh?
I've been in college basketball. This will be my 8th year. Um, you know, we're starting a new program up here. I was here last year, and it was definitely a growing process for me as a coach, but also us as a program.
Sure.
Being our last year, but we brought in some really good kids for this upcoming season. And the biggest thing I look for when I go through the recruiting process is I really look for three things. One, I look for kids that have a positive attitude, kids that are good team players, and then three, they're willing to work hard. And I'm a firm believer that if you have those three things, you can achieve anything you want in life and be successful in any avenue you go. And I've been very fortunate this year. I have really, really good kids.
Mm-hmm.
I push them every day. I mean, they'll tell you that themselves, and sometimes it's painful and frustrating. But they're really good kids, and they've grown enormously just in the short amount of time that they've been here this year.
As we talked about prior to us getting on here, you're kind of in a rebuilding process, right? After a 2-12 year last season, you're coming in. You talked a little bit about the players. How many players do you have returning for this season? And how many players are coming in brand new?
Yeah, so I only have one returning player.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of stamped the roster this year. Again, I put a huge emphasis on positive attitudes and team players.
Mm-hmm.
So really a completely different team. We have a total of 11 kids this year, so 10 of them are freshmen, which
Wow.
have challenges at times. But very talented group. I'm not one to predict uh, wins and losses because
Sure.
being in this business as long as I have, you just realize that so many different things can happen to either catapult you to the top or kind of derail a season. So, but with that said, we have a very talented group. We're going to be extremely competitive this year. We have a pretty tough non-conference schedule, and I really did that on purpose because I wanted to challenge our team, and all of these kids want to play at that next level.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good challenge for them. They're really starting to come together. And I mean, we'll see what happens, but we're going to be really competitive this year. Again, I don't know, where we'll win and where we'll lose, but definitely we'll be giving teams a really competitive game at the very least.
Wow, that's big. So let me just repeat that. 10 out of your 11 players are first year players.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, right? One of the challenges is obviously implementing and installing your system without giving away all the secrets yet coming into this season. What type
Yeah.
of a system do you run? What type of basketball are we going to see?
Well, I think that's the nice thing about us is we have some depth and we have a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we really can play any style of game.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I would like to play a little up tempo, but with freshmen, they're freshmen, so there's
Yeah.
going to be growing pains. Trying to play up tempo, but still playing with a high basketball IQ. And the reality is freshmen are not going to have that all figured out in
Sure.
1 year. So again, there'll be some growing pains there, but like I said, we can really play any type of style, and that allows us to adjust throughout the season. If something isn't working, or if something really is working, go into that more often than not. So, we have shooting, we have some post play.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we really do have a little bit of everything. So,
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, and I think that's what makes it kind of interesting coming into this first year, right? Besides having to try to figure out who your players are, majority of them freshmen, and let's be honest, every single coach I've ever spoken to or haven't gotten to know, one of the biggest challenges they've always had is trying to teach a freshman who was, the superstar player at their previous team to now all of a sudden playing at the college level where this is not one-on-one anymore. No, this is now a team sport, and you got to get everybody involved. And that's one of the things that makes this conference tough. I mean, you have, Mount San Jacinto, you have Victor Valley, you have Chaffey, who are kind of on the top of the conference at this point from results of last season, right? And those are the things that I think that makes it kind of interesting of having a new program with a new coach, right? And we're definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, and just to add to that a little bit, I'm very excited because there's no way around it. Last year we lost some games by 80, 90 points, and it was painful.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited, for our program as a whole to come back and kind of prove to people like, hey, we can build something special here. Yeah. And going off that teamwork thing, that's I'm really glad you said that, because that's something we've been preaching all preseason. And you're 100% right. I tell our kids, hey, every single one of you was the best player on your high school team, but now you're playing against every other best player on their high school team. Yeah. So we talk a lot about sacrifice for each other and holding each other accountable and picking each other up. We do a thing called TTP, which is called, stands for talk, touch, or point. And anytime does something, whether it's good or bad or whatever it is, you either need to talk to your teammate, you need to touch them, put your arm around them, give them a high five, whatever it is, or point at them and let them know that, you're recognizing what they're doing. And that's really helped us build our culture here. And again, they're freshmen. So I think there's pros and cons to that too, because as freshmen, they don't know any better either. So, as long as I'm doing my job and doing the right, you really can mold them however you want. And that teamwork has been a huge aspect of it. And everybody hits adversity. So you have to be as a group.
We are joined once again here by Dylan Longley, who nominated WBCA 30 Under 30 Award during his time at University of Wisconsin River Falls in 2018, and also summer of 2021 selected to coach the NJCAA All-Star Game in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, Coach, let me put on your recruiting hat for a second, right? Tell me with players for next season, right? Why players should choose to come to Palo Verde. I know Ryan, athletic director, really well. I've gotten close to him over the past couple of years. He has amazing vision on what he wants to do with the athletic program. Tell me why players should consider attending Palo Verde College and joining your program.
Yeah, the recruiting process, last year was very difficult. It's hard to sell recruits on something that didn't exist before, and that's something really unique about our situation. But again, when I go through the recruiting process with kids, I look for those three things, that positive attitude, the good teamwork, and willing to work hard. But then on top of that, when I interviewed for this job last year, I told them, I'm really good at getting rejected. Because when you recruit, last year I had over 1,500 names on my recruiting list, and I brought in 10 kids. So, that's a success rate of less than, 1%. So you have to get really good at accepting the word no a lot, and that's okay. But it's just about finding the right kids. And I'm not afraid to go out and reach out to a kid that realistically I'll probably never get. I had one kid on our radar last year that had 2 Division I walk-on offers, and she was pretty close to coming here. But if I just sat back and said, she's got D1 offers, I'll never get her. That's not going to grow our program. So I really try to go out there and get kids that we're probably not expected to get. I really sell to them the environment that we have here. We live in Blythe, and there's certain things we do have and there's certain things we don't have. But one of the things we do have is it's a very family oriented campus, and everybody here is so welcoming. And that's something you don't get everywhere in a genuine sense. So, that's really what I've been trying to sell kids. But I'm a big believer at the JUCO level, it's all about growth and development. And that's on the court and off the court.
Yeah.
And so I've been very fortunate to be around a lot of good mentors during my career, and that's molded me to kind of where I'm at today. But that's really my sell to every recruit that I talk to, is helping them grow, not just on the basketball court, but again off the court as well. Because at some point, basketball ends for all of us, unless you're crazy like me and you decide to coach your whole life. So yeah, that's kind of my philosophy with the recruiting. So.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. I know I'm holding you off in practice right now, so I'm not gonna keep the ladies waiting any longer. But I wanted to say welcome to the conference. We are here to assist you. We are here looking forward to the new program that you're going to be running, and frankly excited because, like I said, they definitely Ryan and yourself and everyone in that athletic department are trying to rebuild this program and bringing in qualified personnel that are eager that are eager to make an impact, that are eager to matriculate the student athletes is something exciting and that we definitely all pull for. So welcome to the conference. We're gonna have to chat again, and my number, so anytime you ever want to chat. And one of the things I want to do probably next week is interview your returning player, the sole only player that's coming back, who's the veteran of the team. So again, I thank you for your time. Have a wonderful practice, and we'll chat soon.
Thanks, Bo. I really appreciate it.